Okay then guys, so before the break we had a look at all the different things that you want to get from your customer during a business review, yeah? And you're happy that those are your thoughts and your ideas, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. A couple of you happened to mention asking your customers open questions. So just so that we're all on the same page, I just want to take a couple of minutes to discuss open questions. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Okay. So, open questions. I take it because you've all sold before that you've all had training on questioning and what open questions are, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Just to make sure we are exactly at the same stage, can everybody just write down for me any two open questions? That can be to do with work or outside of work, entirely up to you. Just any two open questions for me. Everyone got a couple down?
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay. I'm going to do something rather rude now and point at you. And I know you should never point, but just for the purposes of this exercise, I'm going to point at everybody. When I point at you, can you just deliver me any one of your open questions, just to see what you've got? Is that okay? Okay. Start over here with yourself.
What is the true meaning of the universe?
Existence.
What's your favourite memory?
West Bromwich Albion being promoted.
Tell me what your hobbies are.
Sport.
What were you doing when England won the World Cup?
Just about to be born, actually.
Where do you live?
Birmingham.
What did you do at the weekend?
Shopping.
Explain to me what an average day is like at your job.
Training mainly. Okay. So everybody asked an open question, yeah? You agree?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What were my responses like?
So one answer.
So 2 more answers.
Fairly short? Yeah? Okay. The old adage is that an open question is a question that somebody can't say yes or no to. I'm hoping to develop that a little bit further with you today into an open question gets your customer to open up and start talking properly to you. Okay? What it all comes down to is your intention. And we're back on this intention word again. Somebody asked me what I did at the weekend. Mark, yeah? Now, I said shopping. Because that's my abiding memory from the weekend, spending 4.5 hours with my wife and 3 daughters around a big, busy shopping centre. That's my abiding memory. What was your intention, Mark?
I wanted you to explain what you did on Saturday, and then Saturday night, Sunday, and then what you did before, like
So-
preparation for the weekend ahead.
Okay. So your intention was to find out from me a list of all the different things I did at the weekend. Yeah?
Everything.
Yeah. So my perfect answer for you would have been a list of all the different things that I did over the weekend. That would have been a perfect answer, wouldn't it? That was Mark's intention. Okay? What I'm going to suggest to Mark, that if he thinks about the answer that he wants and lifts that language and those very words and puts them in the question. Rob, can you list out for me all the different things you did at the weekend? When you use language like list out for me, or you include words like all the different, that changes an open question and it turns it into something that I like to call a talk lots to me question. I don't know about you, but when I go shopping to Sainsbury's or somewhere, if I've only got to get one thing, I don't tend to make a list because it's only one item. But if I've got to get several things, I tend to make a list because it's difficult to remember. What you want your customer to give you is their shopping list. ideally, because we're saying advertising, one of the first things that we want to do in our business review is open the customer up and get them talking about all the different aspects of their business. Give me an overview, give me a list of all the different products and services you offer. If you walk out on the sales floor today, to the other side of that wall, you'll hear our consultants asking their customers work things like, tell me a bit about your business. And their intention is to get the customer talking about their business. Their intention is that the customer will give them a list of everything they do to start that good business conversation. What they get back is a bit, because that's all they've asked for. Tell me a bit about the business. So what we will need to think about is the actual language that we put into our questions and the language we build to construct those questions with the answer in mind. Because if I'm going to start a business review in the roles that you guys are going to do, wouldn't it be fantastic if after the first question you've asked, you're able to just sit there quietly making a list of everything the customer does because the customer's talking to you? Yeah? The other thing this does is it gives you the impression that your customer is engaged and interested. If he's answering your questions and giving you a list and talking lots to you, you haven't got to do the thing that most salespeople do, is keep asking for commitment. Are you with me, Mr. Customer? Can you say that would work? If I could show you a way of doing that. All those commitment phrases lots of salespeople use traditionally, we don't need to use those as often because we're being more interesting and more engaging with our questions. And the customer's talking lots to me. And if a customer's talking lots to me, that means he's engaged and interested in the conversation. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah? So these traditional open questions, what, where, when, who, how, etc., these can now become your probing questions. So we can go back to Mark's example. Rob, can you give me a list of all the different things you did at the weekend? I'd say, yeah, I took my daughter to football training. We went and did some shopping. We visited my mother and father-in-law. We had a Chinese takeaway that night. And then on Sunday, we went to see my parents, did a bit more shopping for our holiday. All right. And then Mark can kick in with, where did you go shopping? Who did you go shopping with? How long was you there? What did you buy? Those probing questions there. And that's what we're going to do with your customer. Start with a nice talk lots to me type question. Yeah? Mr. Customer, can you start by listing out for me all the different products and services you offer? Then, excellent. Which one of those is most important to you? Why is that? Who did you do that for? And then once we've probed a little bit, we can maybe go back and ask another talk lots to me question. Maybe, okay, Mr. Customer, can you talk me through now all the different things you've got in place to get that kind of work? So you're asking him how he gets his business, but you're asking it in a talk lots to me way. And he might come back with recommendation, word of mouth, or do some newspaper advertising, that kind of thing. And then we can probe again. Brilliant. What do people recommend you? How do you use the internet? And then we probe again. Is this making sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. Is this a different style of questioning that you've been trained previously?
Yeah.
Okay. How do you think it's going to improve what you do?
Much more information is good.
You'll get a lot more information. Yeah? Okay. Now, we've already said that we want to get this level of information. There's a lot of information there to get. So how long is that going to take, do you think?
10 minutes.
About 10 minutes?
10, 15 minutes.
Maybe 10, 15. Depends how talkative the customer is. If we're asking these types of questions, does this mean that we're being a little bit more efficient with our questions? Yeah? Rather than saying, tell me a bit about your business, or a plumber. Okay, what kind of plumbing work do you do? Well, it's mainly bathroom. Okay, what else do you do? And you've got to perhaps ask 4 or 5 questions, whereas if you ask one effective talk lots to me question, list out the different plumbing services you offer, you're only asking one. Yeah? So we're being a lot more efficient with our questioning, which will speed this process up. And the other thing that it does is it makes this whole exercise conversational. Because the one thing you don't want it to be is just a Q&A session that your customer gets bored of. Yeah, we've all been there in the past when we're asking questions and we can soon get a sense of our customer switching off from us, because he'll start asking questions like, how long is this going to take? Can you just cut to the chase? Can you just tell me a price? Because he's getting bored of our questioning. And that's what happens with a lot of traditional salespeople. What we need to be is more engaging and more interesting, so that he's happy to have the conversation. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay. The other great thing about this is, because we're thinking at this level about our questions, what we're going to come up with is a list of questions in the right sequence, in the right order to ask the customers, so that it feels like a conversation. Okay? I suppose what I'm saying is the art is that we're going to ask questions that we already know the answer to. Yeah? I started this session off with a question. I just wrote business review in the centre, and I said, okay then guys, list out for me all the different things you'd like to get from your customer during a business review or fact find. Then you gave me all this information. Yeah? Yeah. Now, as I've just said, the trick is ask questions that you already know the answer to. As you're probably aware, I've done this session before, so I know what questions to ask to get the right information from you. But it feels like your session, those are your answers, aren't they? Yeah? Here's one I produced earlier. Okay? That's from the previous session that I did last week. Exactly the same session. Yeah? All I did was ask you guys questions that I already knew the answer to. I don't need to feel fooled by that. I wanted to show you that because to show you it works. Yeah? And you can make it feel like the first time every time for your customers as well, and have that engaging, interesting conversation. Yeah? So we've got closed questions as well, so we're going to get lots of commitment. So let me just get this absolutely right. What you guys want to do is a business review or fact find that maintains your customer's interest, finds out what their reasons to buy our products are, whilst getting all of this information, asking open and closed questions, and making it a conversation. Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay. What I'd like to do now is move on and show you that sequence of questioning. Is that okay?
Yeah.
What I've actually done at the end is something called a summary and a commitment. And that's what we'd like you to do with your customers at the end of your business review. Summarise what you've done and get permission, if you like, to move on to the next stage of the sale. Yeah? So, let's have a look at that sequence of